Childish Gambino. Actor, writer, comedian, singer, rapper. The man wears so many hats. You'd think he was trying to outdo Pharrell. But here's the thing. Gambino's music career isn't just a side project for Donald Glover. It is a masterclass in artistic revolution, creative risk-taking, and storytelling that goes way beyond catchy hooks. Let's break down his albums and why they prove he's one of the most daring minds in modern music. Gambino's debut studio album Camp dropped in 2011, and it was polarizing. To say the least, critics either loved it for its emotional depth or dragged it for being too melodramatic.
And yeah, that's pretty much the entire review. So I'm kind of feeling a strong 2 to a light 3 on this. Really didn't like it at all.
Overall, I thought it was a good project. Camp, I would give a 7 out of 10 to.
But here's the thing, Camp wasn't trying to be perfect. It was raw, unfiltered, and very personal. Glover wasn't just flexing as a rapper, he was also laying his insecurities onto the listeners. Take the track Outside. He opens the album reflecting on childhood struggles, feeling out of place as a black kid in a predominantly white space. And in Hold You Down, he directly confronts identity issues and racial prejudice with bars that hit deeper than just clever wordplay. Sure, the production might feel a bit outdated now, and some punchlines haven't aged that well, but the emotional weight was undeniable. This was a dude trying to process fame, race, and self-worth before it was trendy to be vulnerable in rap. Then in 2013, Gambino hit us with Because the Internet, an album so layered it feels like an ARG puzzle. This was a full-blown multimedia experience. We had the short film Clapping for the Wrong Reasons, a 72-page screenplay that synced with the album, cryptic music videos, and secret codes in the lyrics. This was Gambino turning the entire concept of an album into a narrative experiment. And the music? 3005 might sound like a summer bop, but under the surface, it's about existential dread, loneliness, and the emptiness of online validation. Then there is Sweatpants, where Gambino flexes over a cold beat while mocking wealth and internet clout, something that hits even harder today. But the real genius was how he captured internet culture itself, the disconnection, the overexposure, and the performance of self. He basically predicted the era that we are currently living in right now, where artists have to consistently create a digital persona just to stay relevant. So, Gambino did what only true visionaries do. He flipped the script. Again. Awaken My Love dropped in 2016, and Gambino ditched rap entirely. No bars, no clever wordplay, just pure psychedelic funk and soul. Some people thought he was doing a Prince impression, but nah, this was deeper. Tracks like Me and Your Mama hit you with distorted guitar solos, haunting vocals, and a raw emotional breakdown that feels like he's pouring his soul out. And then there's Redbone. Y'all already know, this track took over everything. Memes, movies, and it still sounds fresh as fuck. But listen closely, it's not just a smooth jam, it's a politically charged track about staying woke and protecting yourself, especially as a black man in America. This album was a risk, and it paid off really fucking well. Gambino wasn't just making music anymore, he was crafting experiences. Then came 31520, and let's be real, this one divided the fans really hardly. The cover was minimal, the track names were literally just timestamps. It felt like a half-finished concept album or a leaked project Gambino forgot to label. But if you sit with it, the abstract production, warped vocals, and scattered messages feel intentional. This wasn't an album made for streaming playlists, it was a fragmented reflection of a chaotic world. Algorithm dives into digital overload, automation, and losing yourself in the algorithmic void we live in now. Meanwhile, time brings in Ariana Grande for a haunting meditation on mortality and the fleeting nature of life. It's not easy listening. It's actually kind of weird. But Gambino doesn't care about making easy music anymore. He's out here experimenting with the art form itself.
Dan made millions, Kendrick made millions. I would too if I wasn't in my feelings. You know, because like the people say money's not everything, but money, you need money to do what you want to do. Like money is power, honesty is power, truth is power.
Speaking of this interview, this is actually Childish Gambino playing his character, The Boy, which is a character represented throughout his first trilogy, Camp, Because of the Internet, and Kawaii. And personally for me, Gambino's characters are some of my favorite things about his music. It's what honestly helps immerse me into his world. And one of the best ways that he's done this is by telling stories with these characters in his music videos. It's always always when I decide to record that the fucking sun decides to beam through my goddamn window. Oh, well, this is ironic. I need this shit up. Like, for an example, Bonfire. Not only is the song fire, but the music video is a constant loop that signifies a camp's cover-up of their racist past. And it was very fitting at the time, because during this time in his career, he was battling with not fitting in with black or white people, mainly due to the differences in him growing up. And this music video essentially plays on the bad ending of that insecurity. The unfortunate ending for the ghost in this music video is that he ended up getting lynched by the white camp. And every year, when someone tells his story, he falls down from the same tree that he was hung from and must relive the horrors of his tale every single year. And the deep meaning behind this is the fact that the racist part of the story is completely forgotten about, while the victim is being turned into a mythical tale. You can tell as they're telling this story, they're terrified of him as if he was the perpetrator of this story. Speaking of the boy character that I mentioned before, he features in one of my favorite Childish Gambino music videos of all time, 3005. Again, it plays on a loop concept from Bonfire, except this song is about existential loneliness and attachment issues. Take the bear for an example. The bear represents a sort of innocence for the boy character, but as the music video goes on, this bear becomes more disheveled and withered. If you also take notice, the couple in the back gets older, and by the third loop, Gambino's character is gone and the world is on fire. Now, this is actually better explained when you actually go through the lore because of the internet and fully dive into the story of the boy. Trust me, okay? The deep dive will explain the alien take over the world burning theory. But it's the fact that such a simple music video where it's just Gambino on a Ferris wheel tells such a deep meaning, and it adds to an already great song, 3005 being about being attached to somebody forever, while this Ferris wheel in the music video represents life, which is supposed to be that forever. And of course, we can't talk about Childish Gambino music videos without mentioning This Is America. This music video is filled with so much symbolism that I'm convinced that a handful of people were forced to learn about it in schools. That's not because that's a personal experience, but that's because I've had multiple people tell me that that's what happened. At least more than 3. Now, either me or Samir could honestly dedicate an entire video to talking about how much symbolism this music video has, but the simplified version is that Gambino represents entertainment and how distracted we are as a society when there's terrible things going on in the background. Our eyes are so glued to Gambino's wacky dances that we're not paying attention to the destruction happening all around him. While the instrumental represents a generic trap beat with the lyrics, "This is America, don't catch you slipping out, don't put my fucking voice there, put the fucking music." Look at my car. What the fuck is that? Ooh. As a lot of the scenery in this music video touches on America's horrible racist past, present, and future. And there's so many other Gambino music videos that I could honestly yap for hours about. This man is an absolute genius when it comes to not only creating a story and creating great music, but also tying it all together in beautiful visuals. As I said before, this man is a goddamn genius. But I've been Invaderwist, and thank you, Samir, for having me.
So, why is Childish Gambino a musical genius? Because he refuses to play it safe. It's as simple as that. Every album feels like a new era. It is a risk. It is a statement. He's never settled into one genre or one identity. He could have easily chased charts after 3005 blew up, but he didn't. He could have played it safe and stayed rapping, but instead he gave us Redbone. Gambino's music isn't about the singles. It's about the entire experience, the storytelling, the artistry, and the way that he makes you think and question and feel. And that is why Childish Gambino's discography deserves to be studied for years to come. So, I would like to know which Gambino era is your favorite. Do you vibe more with Camp's vulnerability and storytelling, or Awaken My Love's soul? Let me know down in the comments below.
Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. What should I review next? Hit